Hey, did you see that headline? NAR membership drops by 92%, like from 1.6 million to 120,000. You're probably going, who's this idiot and what the heck's he talking about? Well, folks, this absolutely could be the headline if we can get 120,000 realtors to follow what I'm going to outline for you here today. My name is Steve Schlueter. I'm the creator and co-coach of a program called NeverEndingReferrals, and I'm the author of Rescue Dogs in Real Estate. And let me tell you about the mission we're on. And by the way, this is, for you guys that follow our videos, this is not the typical video. It's a little bit of a rant today because I got a message and we got to get this message out, and I need your help. I need you to forward this video to great agents all over this country. You know, people that'll be part of really taking on something we're calling the 700 Challenge. And I'll walk you through just what that is in a few minutes. But what we're really talking about here, guys, is taking a stand to take back our industry. What do I mean by take it back? In the last few years, we heard people talking about boards of realtors selling us out to portals and Zillow and MLSs. And guys, we did it to ourselves. We haven't built value and relationships at the level we needed to. And it's going to take 120,000 of us to take back the industry. And by the way, there's a math formula and there's a philosophy for doing it. And I'm going to get right into those in a few minutes. In fact, let's talk about the math for a minute. And let's just talk about numbers. There's a number out there, I think it's about 170 billion with a B that I heard recently, of dollars that have come into our industry in property tech. And what the hell is property tech? Property tech is people that never sold a damn house that are got millions and billions of dollars coming into our industry saying that they know how to do it better than you do. And I say bull. I say bull because the NAR surveys, the home buyer seller surveys, say that you do a great job. Like 90% of them would use you again. Now, not enough of them do because we don't frickin' stay in touch and we don't have a system for doing that. And that's why we're vulnerable. And so let's go through the math. And so here's the math to take in charge of our industry. And I love this math. So here we go. Let's go into it. So there's 330 million roughly US population. The Census Bureau says there's 2.53 people per household. Do the math, it's 130 million households in the US. Now, let's take that a bit deeper. Those 130 million US households, well, 65% of them are home-owned. They're homeowner households. So when you do the math, that's 84, just a little over 84 million in owned households. Now you're probably getting a sense of where I'm going with this, because let's look at it. 84 million homeowner households means that with 120,000 agents that simply own mindshare with 700 households, we absolutely can take our industry back with 120,000 agents. And yet for those 700 households, you have to become the absolute go-to trusted advisor, only person they would ever think about doing real estate with. In fact, they wouldn't think about anybody they know doing real estate with anybody but you. You've got to go build a heck of a position as a trusted advisor. Now, that's the math. Now, let's get to the philosophy a little bit, because there's a philosophy of how we get to that place. How do we get to that trusted place that, by the way, some app or portal is going to have a hard time doing because they don't have a relationship. And yet there's a formula and a philosophy for how we get into the relationship, that trusted position, that trusted advisor position. So this little diagram right here, it comes from the Harvard Business Review. It's called the Trust Triangle. And I heard Gary Keller and Jay Papasan having a conversation about this as they were talking about leaders and followers and what a leader had to do to build trust. And as I heard this conversation, I said, this is exactly the way you build trust with a relational business. This is the absolute formula. And the formula is this, it's the logic piece. The logic piece says, I know your judgment and reasoning are sound. In other words, they know you know real estate. On the empathy side is they experience you in a way that they know that you care about them and their well-being.
And all of this is happening in a way that is authentically you. It's never salesy, it's never sleazy, it's never uncomfortable. We're service first, sales second to 700 households. And when you nail this and you think about, where do I really pour on the logic? Where do I give the empathy? How do I do it authentically? This is when you absolutely are going to own that relationship. Now, do we still have to be good with tech? Do we have to have a relationship with technology and good tech tools? You darn right we do. And that means you got to get better with your tech. It means you have to be part of a company or use technology that's agent tech friendly, meaning you control your data and you're not sending it off to somebody who's using it against you. Now, with all that in mind, I'm with Keller Williams. I don't know who you're with. Chris Cox and his team, I trust in the technology that they're evolving for us right now, particularly the customer facing things that are going to really allow this to come to life. But we're going to have to use this stuff. Now, you've probably heard Gary talk about this cycle. He talks about the cycle of search, buy, own, and then sell. And right now, Zillow, let's face it, they own search. And it doesn't mean that with the right relationships and approach over time, we can take it back. We may. That boat is kind of sailed, but in Houston, HAR is neck and neck with Zillow in terms of search in the Houston metro area. Houston Association of Realtors, HAR.com. And so maybe we can take it back. But by the way, right now, through the relationship, we dominate the buy side. We've got to learn the own side, and of course, we dominate the sell side. And so yet that own side takes care of that 10-year cycle between, buy and sell, and to be in that space of adding value and building mind share. Now, in our community, the 700 Challenge Facebook page, that's where you'll learn, we will share ideas, how we're going to take this back. And if you need help on how do I bring the logic, the empathy, the authentic self to the database, then go check us out on NeverEndingReferrals.com as well. And we'll be happy to help you on that journey with some education and strategies and system to help you on that journey. But here's the question. And again, we need your help. We need you to push this video out everywhere and to go to the 700 Challenge Facebook group, answer the questions, become part of the group. If you're willing to commit to being part of that coalition of the 120,000 agents that over the next 12, 24, 36 months are going to build to 700 relationships that you absolutely are that trusted advisor for. You have gone and you're going to build that position. And by the way, that's easily 60 to 75, 80 transactions that you can pull from that database alone when you really commit to going and getting that position, not to mention, all the other things. And I do want to talk about, folks, lastly, that other part of the population that it's a little tougher to identify because they don't have a deed associated with them. And yet we've got to go find the rest of those folks that are not homeowners and start to bring them into your database as well. Let's take them on a journey of when they're ready and able to get into home ownership, to get the freedom, the security, the wealth building opportunity that comes with owning your own home. So I trust you'll join us. Go to the 700 Challenge Facebook group, join us on the journey, and let's go start a conversation and let's start a movement of really taking our industry back. I trust you're willing. Look forward to seeing you there.